Hey guys, sometimes I don't even want to get into the intro, so it's me, the gaming freak. Um, how do I start this? So, growing up wasn't that easy for me. Uh, and by the title, people are probably wondering what I mean by my touchy situations. Um, the reason why I put myself in pain, I say stupid things on my streams, on my videos, is because battling something that I'm battling something injured. And some days it gets really hard to post. Uh, I used to post every day on Twitch, and I've gone away from that too. Um, the best. Usually, while we're trying to reconnect. Um, Never. Um, at the age of 4, my dad left. My parents divorced. I thought for so many years that I never knew why my dad did. I thought we had a pretty stable family. Um, and my mom would tell me stories saying that my dad was lazy, reliable, just this horrible guy. And then when I would go to my dad's, he wouldn't show that. My dad did everything for me and my brothers. Um, he would take us fishing. He tried to do what we wanted to do, not what he wanted to do. I remember my brother told me for his birthday, for my dad's birthday, they did what my brother wanted to do because I wasn't able to go. Um, and then come find out later in life, um, why they divorced. So, um, sorry, my mom met my stepdad, like a year, not even a year later after she divorced my dad. She, uh, my, so when my parents divorced, my little brother, whose name is Jordan, was 9 months old at the time. And 9 months later, my little sister was born. Her name is Corey. My brother, my brother and sister are 18 months apart. And it takes not usually takes 9 months to have a baby, to create a baby. So when you put two and two together, it's like a kick in the face when you realize why your parents divorced, and then you try to confront your mom, like, Mom, why did you cheat on Dad? Why did you do this to him? And then she won't talk to you. She just yells at you the entire time. She screams at you, saying that you're calling your sister a mistake. she and she starts treating me different. Becomes more violent. Um, there'd be sometimes there was one time my mom was angry with me, and she would take drawers that had our Legos in, so a plastic drawer, basically, like a couple, three drawer plastic things, whatever. I don't even know what they're called. Um, one day we were setting up Legos and putting them into a new one because this one was broken. Like the frame was broken, not the drawers itself. But we were gonna put new things. We were gonna put new things that were fine into the new one, and keep the new drawers until like one of the old drawers broke, and she ended up cracking one of the old drawers above my head, and it left a mark, like it left a gag, like something in my head, and I was bleeding for a while. And when I asked, can we go to the hospital? I don't like it. It hurts that bad. It's like, no, we'll take care of it here. Um, we won't have to bother them, because I realize now, if she had taken me, she would have been arrested and lost custody of me, Jordan, and Corey. Um, and from then on, it just got worse. Uh, for my 12th birthday, I got a wooden guitar, and no, I got the guitar on my ninth birthday. And going into 12, um, my mom once again got mad at me and broke it over my head. So she's broken two things over my head. Um, then um, she after she started treating me different, my stepdad would. Um, my stepdad would try to get in fights with me more often, try putting me in my place, as most people would say. Um, there was uh, one night my older stepbrother did something really bad, and I got blamed for it, and I'm the one that got beat. And then there was one incident at 13 where my mom was on a phone call with my grandma, and me and my brother were talking about like Marvel or Pokemon, or and I told my mom to calm down because she was basically screaming at the top of her lungs at us for just talking. Uh, and then she continued to scream, kept screaming, kept screaming, kept screaming. Then, so I said it again, told her to calm down, screamed even louder, kept screaming even louder, just just kept it going. And then before she went bowling, before she left for the night, she called me up and said, "I want your phone." And I looked at her and I said, "Why?" And she looked at me and said, "Because you told me what to do." No, I was just trying to help you calm down. I told you to calm down because you were over the top. She's like, "Yeah, that's telling me what to do. You can't do that. You're the child, not the adult." Which I get. Yeah, I am the child, but if you're yelling at your child for just talking to his brother, then yeah, you are the one that needs to calm down, and you need help calming down. Um, so when I said no, I wouldn't give her my phone. She tried walking downstairs to my room, and I stood in her way. And I want to say I got slapped across the face 17 to 18 times. She tried shoving me down the stairs. And then when she tried doing it again, and she almost went tumbling down the stairs. Um, Now, here's a fun fact about my old room. Um, I didn't have a ceiling. Well, I had a ceiling, but it was like a doctor's thing. So they were the squares in the metal frame. And but I didn't have a door. All I had for privacy was the walls of my brother's room and a curtain. That was my door. The curtain was my door. And when my mom walked downstairs to get my phone, which was on my bed, she ripped at the curtain. She like tore the curtain down, but by doing so, caused my ceiling, part of the ceiling, my side of the ceiling, and most of the ceiling to collapse. And in my room, there were two LED lights with two LED bulbs, like school lights, like the square things and the two bulbs. And one ended up crashing on my desk, which shattered it. And then the other one crashed onto my bed, also shattering it. And my mom ended up calling my grandpa, who was living in the town in the same town we did at the time, and asked him if I could move in with him for a couple months. So that's kicked out one. I wasn't Apparently I wasn't allowed to take anything. I wasn't allowed to take my Xbox, my TV, my DS, which I had bought at the time, which is mine. I legally bought that with my money. Um, Sorry about the voice crack. It's just kind of hard to not cry and talk about this, but I feel like I need to explain why I don't post, why I'm not consistent. Now, whoever's here, I appreciate you, man, but you probably don't want to hear this sad story. probably think it's bullshit, and I don't blame you. I really don't. Um, then there would be some nights. So, well, I stayed at my grandpa's for a long time. Moved back in when he moved out. When he moved to Florida, I moved back in with my mom, and it only got worse. Just kept getting worse and worse. I ended up there would be some days where I wouldn't even want to stay home. I wouldn't even want to go home after school because I was afraid they'd find some way to bullshit me into getting in trouble, getting my phone taken away, or just hitting me in general. So I tried making more friends, which I did. I made a lot of more. Made a lot of friends, and I slowly became friends with family than my actual family that I consider family nowadays. Um, and there was another time I went home. Well, 2 years before a year before I moved to Wichita, where I live now. Um, in June of that year, so 3 years ago, in June, I ended up because my couple months before that, my mom kicked me out again because me and my brother got in a little argument about a sandwich. Most brothers get in arguments about the dumbest things, and I agree. I was in the wrong then. I acted like a child, and I let it go. I did. I walked away. I walked down to my room. Didn't say a word. My stepdad, on the other hand, just wouldn't give it up. Kept yelling at me, saying, "It's not your burger. It's not this, not that." Um, then, as I'm walking up the stairs to leave to go outside just to cool off again from him, he elbows me, like shoulders me, kind of. And I turned around and I said, "Don't shove me." And as I said that, he started shoving me out the door. Uh, kept shoving me until I got sick and tired of it. And outside, I turned around and I slapped him twice, actually. Um, he put his fists up and said, "Oh, we're boxing. Oh, we're doing this. We're doing this now." Um, and I said, "I don't have time for you." And I turned around and walked away. Tried to, and he ended up pushing me one more time. So I turned around and I gave him back what he did to me. I did a football shoulder into the back, block in the back, basically. And he turned to my mother, who was gardening at the time in the front yard, said, "It's either I go or he goes," to my mom. That's what my stepdad said. My mom looked at me and said, "We better find you a place to stay." And later that year, before another incident happened, I ended up trying to take my life. I I walked onto the highway and got on my knees and said, "Someone please hit me." That would have been the first hospitalization I've had. I was hospitalized in uh, McDermott at Mercy in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and I would later on that year go go to that hospital 2 more times. One in August and one in October. Or no, one in December. August, uh, June, August, and December. All at McDermott and Council Bluffs. Second time I tried, my mom brought up my dad and said that my dad was the one that started cheating, so that's why she did it. Um, and here's the thing: my dad was so heartbroken, he cried to my mom's dad, and my grandpa, the one I lived with for a while, cried with my dad. And I want to stop, really. That's all I can think about right now. Um, and my friend was over, friend Jacob, who I consider my little brother right now. He's a little brother of mine. Um, he had to watch me um, tie a rope to the ceiling to a metal, like not a metal bar, but like a wood plank. My brother ended up calling the cops on me, and I ended up going to McDermott for the second time. Then came December. Um, this one was the hardest thing to deal with, and this was the last straw. And then I moved here, and I've been here for 2 years now. So this is 2 years ago. Um, yeah, this month. Yeah, no, on the on the 15th, it will be 2 years, full 2 years, full 2 years. So I had a 1986 as my first car, 1986 Pontiac 6000 LE. This thing was, we called it the Ghostmobile because at Halloween I spray painted it to have the symbol of the Ghostbusters on the hood, and my car broke. Like my heater did. My heater shot after work one night. It was so cold that I couldn't even turn on the heater to defrost my windshield. And when I got when I got home the next day, when the windshield was completely gone, when the ice was, um, I asked my stepdad if I could borrow my stepbrother's car because he moved out. He he had moved out, and my stepdad took the car. So I asked him, could I use the car to go to school in the morning for weights? He said, no, you have your car, you have a scraper. Um, I don't know what he was thinking because not only would I would have had frost, um I would have had fog in the on the inside, and then he turned to my little brother and said that's going to be your car when you turn 16. Sorry, I'm tired. Um, uh, that was a bad voice crack. Um, so I got mad and I yelled at him and I said, "What the hell? Why are you doing this to him? And why are you treating me different? Why are you doing this to why just?" And then he said he wanted the keys in my car and I wouldn't give it to him. So I walked to and then he tried walking outside and I stood in the doorway. So then he tried going out through the garage. And I said, you come near me or touch me, bad things are going to happen. And we got into a fight, physical fight like we had before. But this time, I ended up, my back ended up going into the side of a wall. We tossed and turned on the living room floor, him punching me in the sides, and I'm trying to get him off me, and I'm just trying to push him off me, but he's still punching me in the sides. So then I just gave up and I put my hands up like this. I'm laying on my back, hands up like this, and he's still punching me. My mom walks up and says, "Get off him, Ethan! Get off him, Ethan! Get off him, Ethan!" And then slaps me across the face. That would be the third and final time I went to McDermott. Before I went, I walked out of the house and I was going to go to my friend's and see if I could stay there for the night. My mom ended up following me and she called the cops on me. And I told the cops everything. And I said, dude, if she keeps, I just wanted to go. Um, then, um, then I got sent to the hospital again. Um, it's kind of sad that a psychiatric hospital feels more like home to you than your actual home. And this would go on. It would be the last time I went to McDermott, but it wouldn't be the last time I went to a psychiatric hospital. No, not even close. Not even close. My entire, let's see, three there, four there, and seven there. I'll tell you which place it is in a little bit. I've been in the hospital 14 times, all because of family. Um, uh, After the third visit, I didn't go home right away. My grandma came up, picked me up from the hospital, and took me down to Wichita, down here. Now the first few months were a little rough. My girlfriend broke up with me for stupid fucking reasons. Um, and uh, and it tore me. It did. Then I moved on and I went to school I go to school now at Northwest High, Wichita Northwest. Go Grizzlies. Um, I've been there ever since I was a sophomore, and I'm finishing up my senior year here. And some of the teachers there have really helped. Um, Helped me go through some stuff. Um, so the next three hospitalizations would be due to family memories, feeling like I was nothing to them. I would feel so yes, I gained depression like hardcore. And I do have manic depressive. I am very much so. Um, I went to Good Shepherd here in Wichita at St. Joseph uh, Medical first 3 times of being down here. The fourth was later. This was earlier this year, around the beginning of the year, and seven the 7 other times, which were also because I felt the same, except one. One was because I had an anger problem and the cops took me there. I got an anger. I yelled at my grandpa, and they were afraid of me because even though I didn't hit him at all, but he was afraid of me for some unknown reason. And he he so the cops were called. I think actually he was afraid that was going to do something to myself. The cops then took me to KVC, which is a very, very helpful facility. And I would end up going there 7 times. That's the 7. That's the longest stay I've ever. Um, there would be times where I stayed 2 weeks, week and a half, or 1 week. And not only did it bring one thing that happened after the first KVC incident was I got put into a program called Behavior Link or NCOM Care in Wichita. And in Behavior Link, they gave me a group, an individual, and respite. Individual is basically individual therapy. They gave me group, which group therapy would be with three other guys, three other kids my age, which we didn't have a kid my age. We were 15. I was 7. I was going on 17, and the other one was like 13, 12. I'm not gonna say their names because that's confidential. Um, but um, then there's respite, which is kind of like a group therapy, but instead of being lectured, you're kind of being therapeutic to yourself. We go out into the community and we try doing fun things, but ever since COVID, it's like why do that? But we still go to the mall. Um, because of respite, I was able to meet the best friend of my life. My best friend, a friend that if I were to lose, I would be dead. I wouldn't be alive. I That's how much he means to me. He and you've already met my best friend. You have. He's in a past video with me. But most recently, after becoming an adult, um, it feels like people above you, like your parents, your grandparents, still treat you as if you are a kid, even though you have voted, you have done all these things to prove that you are an adult. I can show you my, I could literally show you my license, but am I going to? No, because people can fucking copy that crap. Um, and I own a car. I own both cars that I've driven. The Pontiac and now my Mercury. It's a Grand Marquis actually. Uh, and both cars have not been put under my name because because my stepdad said I paid it out, but he never gave me the title. And then when I wanted the car to come down here with me, so I had a car to drive, he's like, "No, I'm keeping it." So he kind of backstabbed me and said, "No, I'm keeping the car, even though I paid it." Um, and but not with my step grandpa. So my grandma's fiance, I should say. Uh, um, he's let me keep, but he hasn't put me under, he hasn't put it under my name because I'm still on his insurance and I haven't paid. I pay my taxes on it. I would have to get new tags. I would have to get new everything, new registration, new insurance, new everything. Um, so that bad boy's up out there. Um, but most recently, what's been going on is that they don't see me as an adult. So, and if they don't want to talk about a touchy subject, which I have a lot of, uh, what they don't have a lot of touchy subjects, but if I press it, they'll say no, don't talk to me about it, and then walk away. And I have to respect that, which I do. I do respect it. I'll just talk about it later. That we can't talk about it right now. Um, and so my grandma will walk away, but when I'm having a subject, when I'm having a touchy incident and I don't want to talk about it, they continue to press me and say, "But we're here for you. We want we want to help you. We want the best for you." I'm like, the best for me right now is to leave me alone. But they don't see it that way. So I got a little rude with my grandma, and I regret now what I said. Should have just said it more calmly. I should have said it more nicely. But I said, "Shut up, grandma," before I really get mad. And I said it twice. And then my step grandpa came out and started telling me to leave. Get out, get out, get out. Kept saying get out. Got in my face, and I told him, uh, I got up and I tried to say, "So why can you guys yell at me?" And he's like, "Well, you yell at me all the time, and why can't I can't let you yell? It's because you're a jackass." Said something like, he's like, "Because you're a jackass and you think the world revolves around you." And I'm like, "No, no, I don't." And I'm like, "Why can you tell me to shut up, but I can't tell you to shut up? Because you're a jackass." He kept saying, "You're a jackass." She kept saying it. Um, Now keep in mind he had two full glasses of scotch, which is um and hadn't eaten anything. And that's his thing. He drinks and doesn't eat anything, and he's um so when he got in my face and I kept saying back up before I push you, back up before I push you. And so I pushed him. I pushed him away from me, and he faked it. He went like, "Oh man." It's like, if you're gonna step up to me, be prepared to be pushed or back down. So so he kind of faked it and went down. Um he just kept saying, "Get out, get out, get out." And then he would get in my face even more. He kept getting in my face, kept getting in my face, kept getting in my face. And I'm like, "Dude, I'm gonna push you again." And he's, "Oh, you're not gonna beat my ass." I'm like, "Oh." Walked upstairs. I walked upstairs. He got back in my face and pushed him again. Then he said, "Get your stuff, get out." And I got my keys, got my wallet, got my phone, walked out the door, walked out to my car, turned it on. I was like, "Oh crap, I need clothes." So I walked back in. Um, uh, I grabbed the clothes that I wanted, and he I walked upstairs, told I was gonna tell my grandma that I was leaving, and but she was in the bathroom. So, and when I walked into his room, he was already calling the cops. Cops came. They heard his side. They heard my side. They heard my grandma's side. Oh, and out of this entire thing, I never touched my grandma. And when my grandma tried to push us away from each other, he pushed her away from him. Just wanted to say that right now. So I never touched my grandma. I just said shut up before I get really pissed. And while she's trying to defuse the situation, she's the one that gets pushed. Not by me. Not by me. And he didn't go to jail. So I ended up going to jail the other night. I got out yesterday. Yesterday noon. Um, yesterday around noon. So, um, that was a in my brain. Don't push your grandpa when he's trying to step up to you. So now I have a court date on the 8th. That's fun. And if I get convicted, if I get found guilty by the city, um, you won't see me for 6 months. I won't graduate. I won't. I'll literally be in a pod. I'm in the county jail. And now he's trying to. They didn't arrest him for anything. They didn't arrest him for pushing my grandma. They didn't arrest him for the scotch. They didn't arrest him for. There have been many times I could have called the cops on him, but do I? I don't call the cops on anybody unless they do physically do some shit. Um, I didn't call the cops on my mom because I don't want my brother and sister to be without a mom. I really don't call the cops on my stepdad because I don't want my sister to be without a dad. Um, so I'm not the one that usually calls. Um, oh, and if you go to jail, here's the news flash. If the cop says you are going to leave in 2 hours, don't believe him. Don't believe a fucking word they say. Don't. Really don't. Don't. They told me that. I ended up going. They told me that on Wednesday. They're like, "Oh yeah, you'll leave around uh yeah, maybe 11 at night, 10:30, 11. Get in there. I'm at the scanning fingerprints. Um, and then I asked the lady, so would I be able to leave in 2 hours around 11? She's like, oh, no, you'd be leaving around after you see the judge tomorrow morning. I'm like, what? And then the cops are like, she's like, the cops will tell you 2 hours, so it's easier to get you here, so you don't fight them and you're cooperative. So that was fun. Um, oh, and the reason I'm here is because of the charge, because of the pushing, and the cops called. The judge put 72 hours on. I have a no contact for 72 hours. Um, with my grandpa. So I have to live in a hotel for a couple days. But tomorrow I will be heading up to Iowa to stay with my older brother, one of my stepbrothers, to until my court date. Well, I'll be back for Christmas with my family. It's just, but I'll be going back up north with with my original family, and then heading back to the house I'll be living in for a while, and then she the dumbest thing about this entire incident is that after getting out yesterday, I was given the option to go to a safety home, so like a homeless shelter. Um, it's on apparently a bad side of town, and my grandpa was like, "Oh, I don't want him going there. I don't. That's a bad place. Uh, I don't want him near there." I'm like, "Okay." First, you send me to a place where I could be beat or killed because I pushed you, and now you're worried about me being hurt in a place where I'd be quarantined for 14 days, where it'd just be me in that room. Does anyone else see the red flag here, or is it just me? Then he said, "Oh, I'll pay for your hotel room. I'll pay for your hotel room. That's why I'm in here." He didn't pay for it. My grandma did both nights. Um, then it became um, my grandma has told me that he won't respond to her if when she asks, will he be able to come back after the 72 hours, and he won't respond. But then he'll ask her, "Oh, how is he? Uh, how's he doing?" Which I can't legally, I cannot tell her to tell him that I'm okay. I can't do that. That's literally against the law, and I don't plan on breaking that because if I break that law, uh, if I break the 72 hour restraint, uh, which does not include weekends. So Saturday and Sunday don't count. So I can't talk to him until Tuesday at 5 o'clock. If I break that law, and I would go back to jail until my court date with no bondage. No bondage. So I wouldn't be able to be released if anybody wanted me to be. So no, I'm not doing that because jail's a hellhole. Jail's hell. It's literal hell. People think school's hell. Jail's worse. Jail's way worse. Yeah. Try shoving 8 guys into a cell where only 5 guys get to sleep foam on a foamage mattress. Not even a mattress. It's foam over cement. That's the only soft thing we got. Not having a pillow or having to use toilet paper as a pillow or having to use your rations as a pillow. 5 in the morning. I get called. They wake us up. I'm on the floor, like on the actual floor. Um, on wake up. They wake me up. Say breakfast is here. 5 in the morning, and walked out. The only thing I ate of that out of that thing was the salami. Not even. I think it was pastrami or something. Salami or pastrami. Ate that. Tried eating the cake that they gave you, but it's like a cornbread cake. Cornbread's fine, but it had like frosting on it, so it wasn't like actual fucking cornbread. Um, ate that. Ate half of it. Drank the vitamin juice they had. Then and used the bread they gave you as a pillow. They gave me as a pillow. There'd be some guys who had 4 to 5 things of bread as their pillow. So I want kids to really think, would you rather be in school or jail? Neither one is fun. But you ask anybody that was in there, the people I met, they will literally tell you school. They will actually tell you school. I am not kidding. All of us and myself agreed. Well, the ones that were awake. 3 of us, the ones that stayed up almost the entire night, because there was one guy who got brought in that was let me out, banging on the doors, screaming racist Christmas songs. No one could sleep. Well, the 5 guys that were already 5 guys that were already asleep were okay with it, because who wouldn't? If you're asleep, you won't hear that. But the 3 of us were like, "Oh my god!" And this is the first offense for all 3 of us. First offense. Our three, the 3 that stayed up, yeah, it was our first offense. So, so we're just sitting there. We're like, "Oh, it's gonna be a long night," which it was. I don't think I got to bed till 1:30. No, not even 1:30, because they drug us out of, as I'm trying to go to sleep at 1:30 they got us up and moved us to a smaller cell and brought us back in, and then we're like, uh can we go back to bed? Oh, and fun fact, when you want to take a crap, do it at night when everyone's asleep, or in the morning when everyone's asleep. Only time you can. It is legit the only time you get to poop. And if you think I'm joking, no, I just lived through it. Now I know I in the title it says I was gonna say another thing, but I feel I've it's already been an hour since I've been on. I've been on since 10:30, 10:13. Um, so I'm just gonna finish off the video, this stream here. Not now, but I'm gonna finish the stories, and then maybe next week, where when I'm at my brother's, um, I will fill you guys in with the second incident in my life. Um, so I'll have to change this title. Um, so here's the moral of the story: don't push your grandpa. even if he's stepping up to you. Don't push anybody if they're stepping up to you until they punch you first. When they punch you first and you hit back, that is self defense. That's self defense. Just don't push anybody. And another set of advice would be um, I said this on my Snapchat actually. You, no matter who you are, no matter what you've done, there's always someone good inside you. So heed my word. Tell yourself, no force, heaven and earth can knock you down, and you won't stop standing back up. Tell yourself that every day, and because I've done it, I do it every morning. Do it every time something bad happens to me. I may not say it out loud, but I'll say it to myself. I do. So I'll say, no force, heaven and earth can knock me down, and I won't stop standing back up. And it helps. It really does. So if you're going to get anything out of it, any motivational thing out of this, please take that. Because we all struggle. We all have heartaches in life. But if we find that way to live through them and try to redeem for our mistakes, redeem our like redeem ourselves, atone for our mistakes, then you're aiming for the best life you can ever have. Hey, gotta chill there. Um, it's just please listen to the last things I said. And as always, have a freaky day. Before you have a freaky day, comment, and subscribe. Well, it's a live video, so you just have to like it and then you have to comment. But go check out my other videos. Then have a freaky day.